Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for a special video about Married at First Sight in season 18. And your eyes are not deceiving you. Yep, I'm back. I am back on this April Fool's Day. It is not a joke. I'm real. And we are here on this April Fool's Day to talk about a fool, and that fool is going to be Juan. Juan, you won. You won, Juan. I know I said that I was not going to talk about Juan again. I was not going to come back on this YouTube channel of mine and talk about Juan. I was not going to waste my breath, okay? But guess what? Juan, you won. You convinced me. You convinced me, Juan, but I'm going to tell you what. I didn't come along. I did not come along. I am back here on this April Fool's Day to talk about Juan, but I brought a couple of people and a couple of things with me. And the first is I brought my girl, Michelle. Michelle is with me because you know what me and Michelle going to figure out? We are going to figure out what is Juan's secret. Michelle is going to be my inspiration. And you know who else I had to invite back? My trusted pal, Luffy. Luffy, you are here. I got Michelle. I got Luffy on the case. And last but not least, I got my old trusted crazy chicken. My crazy chicken, because this is the chicken that I've used all season that knows how to also call out the bullshitters. So we got Michelle, we got Luffy, we got my chicken, and you know else who I have? I have all of you down there. I'm going to need y'all to help me figure this out because here's what I'm saying. Juan, why are you here? You know, the reason why I came back is because now I'm mad. I'm like Michelle. Remember when David told that big old lie and said, you look so damn fine, I want to eat you up? And he looked at Michelle and he told Michelle it was to my cousin Denise. That's what I feel Juan is doing to us right now. He's lying in our face. He is lying in our face and now I'm mad. Now I'm like Michelle. Now I really want to know what the real secret is. Because let me tell you something. For you to do what you're doing, you have to be covering up something even larger. This is what I think. Now, we know Juan likes to send cease and desist letters. He likes to retain the services of an attorney. So before we get started, we're going to make it very, very clear that here today on this YouTube channel and even this video, we do not have any facts. We do not have any figures. We don't have any testimony that makes this what I say to be real. It is all just my opinion. It is all just in fun on this April Fool's Day. So we don't even want any of you guys to get in trouble down in the comments saying stuff that ain't facts. So just make sure that when you like this video, because you need to like it, when you subscribe to my channel, because you need to subscribe, and when you leave a comment down below, just make sure you say, put an icon up of the old funky chicken. Call it April Fool's Day. Call it, in my opinion, IMO. I don't know this to be true. I'm just using my own opinion because we don't want Juan going down in the comments trying to find anybody to sue and get some money from. Because one thing we know about Juan is he likes money. He likes money, and what Juan is willing to do is get money from anywhere that he can. And as a result, this is what brought me here today, because I believe that the secret that Juan is carrying has got to be huge. I think it's huge. I think it's just like Michelle figured out with David that no, this is way more than tacos taste good. Tacos. This is more, David, than you meeting up with some girl at Starbucks. That lady at Starbucks, those ladies that you try to pull us off the sniff of the trail, try to divert our attention away to the woman at the Starbucks when the real person was sitting right in front of us, which is Madison. She was the real person, but you were trying to have us look over here. That's what Juan is doing. Juan is having all of us, to try to look at Carla, everything that's wrong with Carla, right, as the cover-up for what was really going on over here. Carla is the diversion. Carla is the girl at the coffee shop that David said he went and had coffee with, that he was talking to on Instagram or whatever else, that had the other boyfriend. That's Carla. He was never interested in that woman. David was never interested in her, just like Juan was never interested in Carla. Now, there's so many lies that I believe are being told by Juan. So not only are we going to be talking about what is Juan's secret, but all these lies Juan has told, and who knew about them, who knew about the lies. But before we get deep into it, before we figure out where is Waldo, what is the secret, how many lies do we believe Juan told, we got to go ahead and play my introduction music, my video, music, I should say. During that time, I'm going to need you guys to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And we're going to come right on back and start finish talking about Married at First Sight, Juan, and what really is going on. We're back, y'all. We are back. We are back to talk about Mr. Juan because he made me do it. I'm blaming Juan. I sure am. Juan, you made me do it. You made me do it because you are lied in our face one time, but then you continue to lie. I'm okay. You want to lie in my face? That's good. I got other stuff to do. But when you want to keep lying in my face, then you know what? I'm going to have to do something about it. And Juan is still on these YouTube channels using everyone. Because remember, Juan uses people. He's a leech. I really want everyone to get this. Juan is a leech. He uses people. If you're in any sort of relationship with Juan, business, personal, interviewing him on YouTube, he's using you. He's using you. He's telling you he's using you to defend himself, to keep his secret a secret. Who comes on YouTube to keep a secret a secret? No, that's not what Juan's doing. He's doing what he was doing from the very beginning of the show, and that is to promote his business. That is to promote his business. It has been the sole reason why Juan even came on Married at First Sight, was to promote his business. And what he's on these YouTube channels trying to do is to promote himself as if he's very strong in business, because I guess what Juan is trying to do is either get investors, get followers, sell product. I don't know what, all of it, all of the above. But it always goes back to money. I told you guys from the very beginning that one of the biggest turnoffs from Carla was not the crystals. It was not the tarot cards. It was not the psychics. It was about the money. Juan is always about the money. And we find out that he's even horrible with money. Juan told us he's maxed out on his credit cards. He's horrible with money. He's horrible with money. We're going to talk about that even more. But where in the world is Waldo? Where in the world is Waldo? I'm going to start with, like I said, channeling my Michelle, channeling my Luffy, using my sound bath, my crystals, tarot cards. I mean, they brought out the works in this season to get Juan to spill the secret. They brought tarot card readers, tantric sex people. Carla was burning sage. Carla was doing sound baths. They did everything. The producers did everything to get this secret from Juan, and he never spilled it on TV. But now we're figuring out. And what I believe is that the producers, of course, knew the secret. Because Juan has revealed to us that the producers were the ones that prompted him to say, hey, don't you think you ought to tell Carla this secret? Don't you think you ought to tell her? Because what the producers were saying is not our secret to tell. We can't tell it. So I started to think, well, producers, what secret did you know about Juan that you didn't feel comfortable telling Carla? Because if you told Carla, it could be some sort of violation that you committed. This is sounding very familiar, y'all. This is starting to remind me of Ashley and Tyler from Love is Blind. Remember the secret that Tyler had about the kids? About the kids? And the producers didn't tell Ashley. They needed Tyler to tell that business. You know why? Because it wasn't just the business of Tyler, it was also the business of those children, and it was also the business of those baby mamas. Remember, he couldn't tell the secret on camera because it really wasn't all up to him to tell the secret, and that's what I believe is going on with Juan. I think part of the secret with Juan isn't completely his secret. And you know who else I think the secret is for? I think the secret is for that girlfriend of his. I sure do. Just like David didn't want to tell his secret because in a lot of ways, it really wasn't completely his secret to tell. It was also Madison's secret. Because I'll go back to the original show and I'll say that David wanted to tell the secret a long time ago. David had no reason to keep the secret that he was in love with Madison. He didn't. Because he already knew that Michelle didn't like him. There was no harm in telling it. But the reason why David kept the secret was to protect the image of Madison. Madison didn't want the secret to be told because it would be damaging to her. And what I believe about Juan's secret is that the secret is not just completely about Juan, but I think the secret is about this girlfriend. I told y'all that I believe the truth is that Juan was entangled in a relationship with this girl from Brazil. I do. And what I believe he did was I think he broke up with her in order to be on this show. And I think if he didn't break up with her, I believe what he told her was, don't worry, baby. Just like Tyler told Bree, his baby mama, don't worry, I'm just going on this show. I'm not going to fall in love. I'm not going to get married. It's just to have something to do, just for fun, just for an experience. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to you. Just like Tyler said, I'm going to come back to you and the babies. Okay? Tyler went over there, fell in love, and married that woman. And what I believe Juan did was he told this girlfriend from Brazil that, hey, don't worry about it. I'm just going on this show for publicity. And but I'm not going to fall in love with this woman, just like he didn't do. Juan was never in this from the beginning. I hope all of you realize that now. It was nothing Carla could have said or done that could turn Juan on or off, because Juan was never going to walk away from the show with any woman because he was already in it with this other woman. And what he told that woman, that Brazilian woman, was, don't worry, baby. I'm going on this show for business purposes to make some money. So that way I can get you over here from Brazil and you can move over here with me. And then I'll be able to support you because I'm going to make a whole lot of money from this business deal. You can come on over here. So don't worry about it. And then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to divorce her, and then you're going to be able to come over because I'm going to make a whole lot of money. I'm going to become famous, and I'm going to make a whole lot of money. That's why I believe this woman went along with it. Because like I said, I'm looking at everybody now. Once I know a lie has been told, no one is safe. Carla's not safe. In terms of, I got to relook at some of her actions. I got to look at the actions of Juan, of course. I got to look at the actions of the producers, the experts, and of course, Juan. Right? And I'm going to look back and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that if you think back to the whole season, which couple had the least camera time? And you know who had the least camera time? Carla and Juan. And you know why they had the least camera time? Because I think both the producers and the experts knew from the very beginning that this relationship was going nowhere because of this secret that was revealed afterwards. I think everyone knew, including Carla, that this relationship was going nowhere from day one. And therefore, why do we need to put any energy into it? And I also believe, Carla, that all of her conversations with Juan were like business meetings, board meetings. It was about business. The relationship with Juan was never about personal. It was about making money. I'm quite sure that Juan sold Carla on the idea, we can make some money after this show. Just go along with this. We can make some money. Because Carla was believing that Juan is a good business person, and so she probably bended towards his direction. But she's found out now that she got bit by the snake too, because Juan doesn't do anything for other people. He only does things for himself. We're going to really get into it. Juan used everyone on this show. And what I believe is during the time when Juan and Carla were having discussions on the show, that the editors edited it all out, because what the editors knew was that Juan is on some bull crap. Where's my chicken? On some bull crap. Juan wanted to come on here all season and talk business like it's a TED Talk, just like he did on Kojo's station, and act like he's got such good business acumen. And like I said, he's a horrible business person. He's got credit card up to the yin yang. We're going to talk about that more, right? And what the editor said, we edited all this out. That's why, if you think about it, of all the people, who do you know the least about? Juan. Did we go visit any of Juan's family? No, we didn't really. Not since the wedding day. You want to talk about Carla's family not being on camera? Did we see Carla meeting too many of his family members after the wedding? No, we didn't. They didn't invest in Juan, and the reason why they didn't invest in Juan is because they knew Juan was on some bullshit. They figured it out. Even the experts didn't spend much time trying to help Juan and Carla figure out their mess, because they also knew that Juan was on some bullshit. What they knew about Juan is that he had this other woman. And I'm going to add something more to it. I think he's protecting her, and he could have been protecting her in a lot of different ways, right? A lot of different ways, which we're going to get into that. But let me tell you something. Juan never had the intentions to get with any woman on this show. It was always about business. And what he's doing now is he's trying to use Carla's mishaps, Carla's shortcomings, all of this to divert away from what the real thing was, which is his girlfriend and him. Absolutely. I believe it. That's what I believe. This would mean that at the very beginning of the show, everyone knew the secret. Carla knew the secret, which we know she knows because Juan has basically served her with some form of a cease and desist, a warning letter, saying she must adhere to the NDA. He's even read the letter on Kojo's YouTube channel. Okay, so he is making sure that he keeps everyone silent. And I think what people are respecting is not necessarily are they respecting Juan. I think what they're trying to do is respect this woman who really is innocent in all of this, but yet she's been brought into it because the man who's supposed to care for her and love her has brought her into it. Because just like the lie that David told was so bad, it made us dig more. It's what's happening to Juan. Juan, we didn't even know there was a secret, but the fact that you keep talking about the secret, all it's really doing is making us wonder more, what is the secret? That's all it's making us do, Juan. We don't know. We ain't got no facts. We ain't got no figures. It's all our opinion on this April Fool's Day. All I got to help me out is Michelle, Luffy, and my trusted chicken, and all of you. All of you. But whatever the secret is, it was so egregious, so juicy, so real that the producers had to force Juan to tell Carla. He wants to say he was never forced, but they strongly encouraged it. Just like the producers were dealing all season long with liars. They were dealing with David and Madison, the liars, all season long. They were dealing with Juan too. And just like that producer finally went to Madison and says, is there any truth to it? Don't you think you ought to confess by now? That's what they said to Juan. Don't you think you ought to tell Carla this and give her the opportunity if she wants to move forward? I believe the secret has to do with not only a relationship with that woman. I believe it also has to do with there could be possibly somewhere along the line, it could be that there was a child involved, one that maybe the child didn't make it. I don't know. I hope that's not the case, right? Because just having a girlfriend alone, that probably wouldn't be enough. But if you start to talk about how deeply involved he was with the girlfriend, like the girlfriend was living with him or staying with him, or the girlfriend was carrying his child or had his child or was about to have his child, I don't know. But what I believe is it involves the girlfriend. Because when I talk about looking at behavior, I look at Carla's behavior when Carla really early on knew that this relationship was going nowhere. That's why she could detach very soon. That's why she could smoke weed every day, because what Carla knew from the very beginning, this wasn't going anywhere. And when Juan left her on that honeymoon and said, I forgot all about you, it was the truth. Because what Juan is saying is, I forgot all about you because I never came here to be with you in the first place. You see, you ever go somewhere and you say, oh, I forgot you was here because you really never intended to hang around with that person in the first place. That's Juan. He never had any intentions to hang out with Carla. He didn't just not want to hang out with Carla because he didn't like the way she looked. Come on, people. That's too simple. He never had any intentions to, because what he knew was, and what he told that girlfriend was, I'm going to come back to you. I'm never going to kiss this woman. I'm never going to hug this woman. I'm never going to sleep with this woman. I'm coming back to you. And that's what kept that woman hanging on. That woman has been hanging on because of the promises of Juan. This is what I believe. This is what I believe. And then you say to yourself, well, what kind of woman will hang on and go along with this cooped up thing that you could be with a man, in love with a man? He could come to you and say, hey, baby, I'm going to go on a whole nother show. I'm going to legally get married, but I'm not going to sleep with her. I'm not going to kiss her. I'm not going to fall in love with her. I'm going on here for a business opportunity so I can make some money, so I can move you over here from Brazil here, and I can take care of you. Go along with it, and then I'm going to come back to you. What kind of woman would want to go through that? What, another money-hungry woman? Like Juan says, she's really serious about her money. Is she money-hungry? Or was she invested in Juan in a way which makes a lot of women circle back? Because to go along with this plan that Juan has, to be tossed aside so your man can marry another woman and then come back to you for you to go along with that, what is your incentive? Is it because you are here for the money too? Or is it because of something like what a lot of women forgive men over? There is a bond with that man that is deeper than you, and sometimes that involves a child. Sometimes that involves a pregnancy. Sometimes that involves you thinking of someone else other than yourself who you also may want to protect. Whether the child is here, was going to be here, could have been here, is not here. I have no idea. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is. I'm just here, my opinion, my thoughts, my ideas. You see, because we all have been speculating even about that the whole relationship with Brandon started before, that had been in a previous relationship with Brandon and she broke up with Brandon because Brandon didn't want to get married. And so she came on the show here. And then when her marriage didn't work out here, Brandon doubled back and said, hey, I'm not going to let you go again this time. I'm going to propose to you and snap you up right away. Because the first time I didn't move fast enough, maybe because I was still married. But now that you didn't work out with Ike, I'm going to make sure I seize this opportunity. And like Brandon said, I don't even want to leave this stage without being married because I don't want to take another chance that I lose you. You see, what if this girl is Brandon? What if this girl is saying, hey, I can't believe I went along with this kooky story of him, but I don't want to lose him. So now what I'm going to do, now that I know he and Carla didn't work out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to the U.S. and I'm going to stay there. Really? You're going to stay here? You're going to come here and stay? Or maybe she was here. Who knows? You see, right now we are in some precarious times. Our president of the United States is putting a lot of attention on people overstaying their visas. He's putting a lot of emphasis on it. And there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear around people who are in this country, who are not supposed to be in this country, past their visa period. And what Juan has told us is this girl comes over here and stays months at a time. Now, I've been to Brazil. When I went to Brazil years ago, I didn't need a visa to go to Brazil. I was able to go to Brazil without a visa. There was an agreement between United States and Brazil. But at some point in time, the United States changed their policies and said, nope, Brazilians, you can't come to the U.S. without a visa. And when you do come, I think their visa is only good for, I don't know, probably like 90 days, 120 days. I don't know. But let me tell you, it's dangerous now to be possibly in the United States illegally. And it could be dangerous, especially if there's anything involving a child. There's a lot of danger around it. And when I think about this secret that everyone is trying to protect, I don't think everyone is trying to protect just Juan. I think people are also having a little bit of sympathy and empathy for that woman. This is what I believe. Like I said, I don't know it to be true. I don't know it to be true, but I think it's something surrounded that. But here's the problem. The problem is that the very person who should be looking out for her, if any of this is even possibly true, like I said, it's just my opinion, the person who should be looking out for her the most should be Juan. But Juan is selfish, like we said from the very beginning. Juan came on the show with selfish intentions. He was not even looking out for Carla before he met her. He was coming on here for himself. And now, even after the show is over, you have Juan on these YouTube channels talking about a secret that no one even knew was out there. Now, here I am wondering what it is. And once again, he has not only, he's exposed the secret of, I think, another person. He's put it at risk, which is his girlfriend, because what Juan does is he looks out for himself. He doesn't care what happens to you as long as what he can get out of it is money and fame and business recognition. And he's not even all that good in business. The fact that this is how he does things is a really good indication why I would not do any business with Juan. I told Carla, don't do business with him. Don't do business with him. You see, the only reason Juan is even doing business with Carla now, think about it. Why would he want to do business with a woman that he said is lazy, shiftless, irresponsible, bad with money, because she spends money on $14 smoothies, is into mystics that he's not into, right? Why would, and has a bad work ethic because she doesn't get up to 1 o'clock. Why would you go into business with that person? This doesn't even make sense. But you know what? When you get into the mind of a person who their driving force is money, 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 he's going to get in business with Carla because you know what he needed from Carla? He needed from Carla something he didn't have. You see, when Juan came on this Married at First Sight, his plan was to become famous, for everyone to like him. And a lot of you fell for it in the beginning. And he was hoping that he'd leave here with a lot of fans, a lot of followers, and he'd be able to turn this into a business opportunity. Followers, people buying his goods, his merchandise, maybe even get some investors for his app. But what happened to Juan was he was not well liked in the end. He wasn't counting on that. He wasn't counting on that no one would like him. Very few people would. And so the reason why he decided to continue to try to use Carla even further was because he thought he wouldn't need Carla at the end of this show, right? He thought, I'll use Carla to go on the show, get up my followers, then I'll toss Carla to the side at the end of the show and I'll say, no, I want to get a divorce. But the problem is he didn't have a fan base. So he needed Carla because you know what? Carla got a fan base. So Carla not only had the fan base, she also had the business idea. So Carla had the fan base and the business idea, and she came up with Juanchos Ponchos. She coined the phrase. So what does Juan decide to do? I don't like you. I think you a pothead. I think you lazy. I think you shiftless. I think you got a poor work ethic. I think you can't get along with people. That's why you were fired from your job. You live out of the storage unit. But I still want to do business with you because I can still use you because you know what you do have, Carla? You got a fan base and you got some good ideas. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on business with you to use you. And then I'm going to rope my sister in to do our website for free. So me as Juan, I don't have to really do too much of anything. And then what he's going to do to you, Carla, is if this business were to take off, which it isn't going to take off, it's not going to go anywhere. But let's say it took off. You know what he's going to do to you, Carla? He's going to squeeze you out of the business. He's going to tell you, well, Carla, you never really invested any money in the business. I invested the money. You didn't do anything. So what if it's your intellectual property? You didn't put it in writing. Did you get an intellectual property lawyer to write up the paperwork, Carla? No, you didn't. You know what he would do, Carla? He will push you out of the business and take all the money for himself because that's what Juan does. Juan is selfish. He's using that girlfriend. He's using you. He used the producers. He used the experts. He's using these YouTube people who keep putting him on and doing interviews. He's using everyone. But you know what, Juan? I'm going to use you here today for some likes. That's what I'm going to do. So everybody who's tired of being used by Juan, I need you to like my video and stick it to Juan. You know what? I'm like Marvin Sapp. Close the church doors, lock everybody in this room until y'all give me a like. I'm gonna need a like from 1,000 people. Marvin Sapp needed $40,000, $40 from 1,000 people. I'm gonna need a like. I'm gonna need a like from 1,000 people because we closing the church doors on this one, y'all. Juan is simply on this show to promote his business acumen, to get angel investors into his business, to win kooky contest. It is clear and it is obvious. And no one ever needs to be fooled again on is Juan genuine in his friendship, his care for you, because he is not. He's a user. He sat on this show with Kojo as if it was a TED Talk to try to give everybody some business tips. And all the business tips were horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I tell you what, Juan, in the business world, cash is king. And when you sat on there and told us that you paid off your car, you paid off your student loan, but yet you are maxed out on your credit cards, you're a fool. On this April Fool's Day, you are a fool. You are a fool. So you mean to tell me that you paid off lower interest rate debt, a car loan, which has got to be a lower interest rate debt, a student loan, it's got to be a lower interest rate debt, only so you could use up all your cash over there so then you could accumulate more debt under a credit card? You're a fool. You're a fool. So now you're walking around here with no cash, and you think someone is going to loan you money or give you money and you have no cash? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let me tell you something in the business world. Let me give everybody a real business tip. Let me give you the real world. The real world is this. Banks and other people who are rich only give money to other people who have money. They don't give money to poor people who don't have no cash. I hate to tell you. I know the world is full of saying, oh, banks loan money to people who need money. They loan money to people who need money, but who already got money. Let me tell you something. If I go to a bank and I say, hey, Mr. Bank, Mrs. Bank, my name is Mrs. Deborah, and I want to borrow $50,000. And I say, I want to borrow $50,000, but I have $150,000, but I want to borrow $50,000 from you because Mr. Bank, Mrs. Bank, I don't want to use my money. Okay. I don't want to use my money because I'm a good business person. I want to hold on to my cash. I'm going to put my cash over here in the stock market or a CD or bonds or whatever. And I'm going to let it accumulate interest at anywhere from 5 to 20%, depending on what I invest in. And I don't want to use my money to start this business because my money is making money. What I want to do, Mr. Bank, Mrs. Bank, is I want to borrow the $50,000 from you, and I'm going to use that to start my business. So I'm making money with my own cash, and then I'm using your money to start my business. And the rate at which I'm borrowing money from you, Mr. Bank, is less than the interest rate I'm making money over here. Why would I get rid of my cash when my cash is making money 10%, 11%, 12%, 20%? And Mr. Bank, you are only going to charge me 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%, whatever it is for a loan. All right, I'll take your lower interest rate. I'll keep my cash. But what does Juan do? Juan gives the money back to the people who already gave him a low interest rate. And then what he does is he goes borrow money from a credit card at higher interest rate. And now he wants some people to give him some more money. Absolutely not. Nobody is giving money to somebody that ain't got no cash. People only give money to people who got money because they want to make sure you can pay them back. Let it be a lesson to you. Banks only give money to people who they know will pay them back because those people already got enough money to really kind of pay them back. This is how the rich get richer and the poor get poor. Juan is ridiculous. He don't have no business acumen. He don't have no good sense on this April Fool's Day. He's over here basically, I believe, in my opinion, outing his girlfriend. I believe that the secret is not Juan's secret all by itself. Its secret involves someone else. And the sad thing about it is someone in that wedding outed Juan. Someone outed Juan. Someone in Juan's camp outed him. And let me tell you something. For someone within your camp to out you, that means that person within your camp don't like you. And you know why people probably don't like Juan and who will be willing to spill his secret and tell his business to the producers and everyone else? It's because more than likely Juan used them too. And what they were tired of seeing Juan use people because they know who Juan is. They said, this guy, he's something else. He sure knows how to use people. And I believe that this is unfair for him to get married to this woman, Carla, and she not know the truth. And that person he thinks is his friend, outed him because they're pissed off too. They're as pissed off as Michelle was when David said that text was for his cousin Denise. They're pissed off. They're tired of Juan lying to people and using people to try to make money. And they outed him. Remember the story Juan told? The reason why he could understand what David did with Madison, all the cheating, was because he said he did the very same thing. Do you guys remember that story about his low moral character when he told us his friend had a girlfriend? And what he did was he thought that he was a noble person because he went to his friend and said, hey man, I just want to let you know I like your girlfriend and I want to be with your girlfriend. And he felt that that was noble. He thought that the honesty of going to his friend and telling his friend, I want your girlfriend. He thought that honesty was noble. This is who we dealing with, y'all. This is who we are dealing with on this April Fool's Day, but it ain't an April Fool's. This is really who he is. This is the low down, dirty stuff that Juan does. And now we have Juan on here trying to become all famous as if he's some great business person, but he makes lousy business decisions. He's on here talking about a secret that no one else would know about, but what he's doing is he's putting at risk. He's putting at risk, I believe it is the girlfriend. It is the girlfriend. And he introduced us to her. He never should have even introduced us to the girlfriend. Why did he introduce us to her? Because once again, he was trying to make himself look good. Once Juan found out that he was not the one everyone liked, once Juan found out that Carla had a fan base, once Juan heard all the speculation that he might be batting for the other team and be part of the LGBTQ community, Juan felt the need to let everybody know that, nope, I'm with a woman. I got a beautiful woman. And you know what? She's popping. She got breasts that Carla don't have. She's a business entrepreneur. She's all this. He decided to parade her in front of us, exposing her, telling us all her business about what she does for a living, her lash business, her eyebrow business, the fact that she's got Airbnbs in Brazil. He's telling all this information about her so that he looks good. But yet he's exposing her. Now we find out she's coming over here for months on end. Really? Really? Are you exposing her even more? Are you exposing her just so you could look good and you are saving yourself? He is a leech and he is a user. I really hope that my ideas are wrong. I really hope that there's no baby involved, that this isn't a Tyler and Ashley story. I really hope that this isn't an ICE or immigration story. I really hope, because this would be horrible, 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 horrible if Juan is willing to risk all of that so he could look good. He is willing to lie to other people, to put other people at risk. Like we said, waste Carla's time, waste our time, waste producers' time, waste the experts' time, all for his own gain. Ridiculous, y'all. Ridiculous. But anyway, let me know what y'all think down in the comment. We don't want to get no cease and desist letter from Juan nor his attorney. So we're going to make sure everyone knows that none of this is known to be the truth. This is all opinion. This is all us just wondering on this April Fool's Day. So make sure when y'all put it down in the comments, you don't say it's fact or it's figures. Okay. Just say it's just your opinion and maybe it's an idea. But that's it. That's all we got. I want to say thank you to all you. Thank you to Michelle, my trusted muse. Thank you to Luffy, my trusted muse. Thank you to my crazy chicken. And thank you to all of you who have watched Married at First Sight season 18 all season long with me. And I guess I'll see you next season when we pop on over to the new network, Peacock Network, and hopefully it gets a little bit better, y'all. Hopefully it gets a little bit better. But that's it, y'all. That's all I got to say. See you later. Bye.